Hi. I'm a good dog. Welcome to Fibertown. This is episode 214 and it's the 6th of March 2018. Hello everybody, I'm so glad you're here with me in my kitchen today. Alice is having some food and do you hear the crunching? Yes, and I'm here. It's afternoon, it's starting to snow, and I have fibery things to share with you. So, thank you for being here. I'm very glad that we are together and we're going to chat, and I just wanted to say thanks if you've left any comments, messages, if you've gotten in touch in any way on YouTube, on Ravelry. I really appreciate it and I value that, and that's why I do this podcast. So what do I have for you today? I have a few FOs, a few whips, some spinning and sewing. That's really it. I think it's going to be fairly short, although I usually say that and then it's not. Oh my goodness. So one thing I wanted to mention is that I have a few new sets of minis, fingering weight, superwash wool mini skeins sets in my Etsy shop, which is Fibertown with an R-E on Etsy. This is one of them. Isn't that fun? This one down here is Fruit Loops by Fiber Nymph. We've got some Mallowinkles right here. We've got some hazelnuts, more hazelnuts. We've got some Malabrigo suck. We've got some more Malabrigo suck. We've got some opal. Just a lot of fun things in here. And then this one has a lot of the same things. This one doesn't have the Mallowinkle, but it does have some Fruit Loops and some of the others. So those are in the Etsy shop. In case you are making mini scrap blankets, you might like to check them out. Okay, so let me show you what I'm wearing because there's an FO in here. This is a willow, I'm not sure if it's a willow top or a willow tank, but it's a sleeveless top, and it's by Grainline Studio, and I've used this really great Indian printed cotton. Hi Alice, come on up, come say hi. I've used that on the front. It's called Kalankari is the style of, it's block printing on cotton. It's really lovely, and I got this at Stitch Sew Shop in Alexandria, Virginia, which is a really great dressmaking shop. It's pretty pricey, so I just got a half a yard, and I did the back. This was an idea from my friend Sarah Pomegranate. I did the back in some fabric I already had, which was a blue poplin that I used for a willow tee, not a willow tee, goodness, a hollyburn skirt, which I love. So I was able to mix and match, and I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I do like it. If you want to come up, you can jump up. Anyway, oh, there she is. There she is. There's Alice. So, yeah, this was a quick and easy make. I've made a lot, at least a half a dozen willow tops. It's a great layering piece, and it doesn't take a ton of fabric. So, but yeah, I did the facings out of the poplin. And I was going to say, the poplin is heavier than this Kalankari cotton, which was a concern of mine, but it's turned out fine. I don't think poplin is usually advisable for shirts, but since it's the back of the piece, I'm fine with it sort of pulling down a little bit more than the front of the piece because I like things to cover my back 40 a little bit more anyway. And I'm not having any issues with pulling out of shape and that sort of thing. So it worked out well. And Alice is just, as I was saying, Alice is hogging the camera. So apparently I had very little disk space and the camera stopped importing. So I just had to empty the trash on my computer and hopefully we're okay. That's why there was this little blip in the recording. And Miss Thing, you're going to have to get down. You're going to have to get down. Show the people your face because it's extra pretty. There she is. You're going to have to get down so I can show my works in progress, little tiny. Oh, I do have one more FO and it's a weaving FO. And it's quite an FO. Say goodbye. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. So this weekend, I decided that I was going to weave this. And I did it in about a day and a half. And the color is just, it's much more yellow. It's much more neon than this. So guys, I wove quite a project and I'm very happy with the weaving. In general, the selvages look great. Although I'm not really, that doesn't really matter in the long run. Right there, that's a little thing I have to fix, pull. But the reason it doesn't really matter is that I am going to take this over 2 yards of woven cloth and I'm going to full it. So let's tell the story of this fabric, shall we? The story so far, the supply chain as it were. This started as an Icelandic fleece from Sweet Dreams Farms in Washington County, New York. And you may have heard of Washington County. They have the Washington County Farm and Fiber Tour, which has been put on in the past by Sarah Pomegranate of Yarns and Who. Someone else is doing it this year. I long to go one of these days. So yes, so this started out as Icelandic wool in fleece form. You may know that Icelandic wool is double coated. That means it has a soft, downy undercoat, or woolly. I would say the crimp structure varied quite a bit, from quite downy to some crimp, but not a ton of crimp. And then it's very soft. The outer coat is wiry and it's weatherproofing and it's gray. So you can see the difference in color. That's why this is so heathery, because I carded both of the coats from the same fleece together, the inner and the outer. And what did I do next? Well, I actually washed it first. And I believe it was a ram fleece. It was quite smelly, like pungent, not like regular wool smell. It wasn't funky. I would say it was hormonal. Let's just say that. I don't even know if that's the case, but that's what I picture. So yes, so this fleece was washed, it was carded, it was spun into a 2-ply by me, and then I dyed it twice. I mordanted it with alum sulfate, potassium, whatever's used in pickle making, that's the alum I used. So food grade alum, and that's so that the color would stick to the wool fairly permanently. And the first dyeing was done with marigolds from my summer garden. And I liked it very much. But then I started thinking that I wanted to do some dyeing with goldenrod. It was the height of summer and my daily walk goes by a meadow. And I've just enjoyed watching the foliage and the flora change through the seasons in this meadow. So I went out walking for a few days with scissors and a big bag. And I hauled back some goldenrod, I sneezed a bunch. I stuck it in my pot, I didn't even put it in like cheesecloth or anything. And I gave this a second dye bath. And in reality, it is just a fairly neon yellow. That's almost the real color. And there are blips of it where it's just, let me see if I can show you. See that right there? Super orangey yellow. So I'm very charmed by how this turned out. So after it was dyed, it sat on my shelf for half a year. And it was in yarn form, of course. And I think I could look up how much I had. I know it's on my phone somewhere. Probably in the neighborhood of 1,400 yards. Oh, I know where I can look. Yeah, so I will tell you in a minute. So I decided to go ahead and weave it. I have a 32-inch Ashford rigid heddle. Excuse me if I'm talking really slowly right now. I need to sort of doing two things at once. So yes, Ashford rigid heddle. I warped it to about 30 inches. And it probably, I should have measured the width. I think it's about, I didn't lose a ton on the width, but I don't know exactly how wide this is. Approaching 30 inches, probably 28, 29 inches. I'm just guessing. Let me see. I have the yardage of my Icelandic. Okay, it was 1,100 yards. So I was able to weave about a little over 7 feet of fabric. So the next step of this is going to be fulling it. You can see the weave is quite loose. I used an 8-dent heddle, and that just means that there are 8 holes and slots per inch. And that's usually for a worsted weight yarn, but I knew I wanted to full this, and actually that's the only heddle I have for this loom so far, which is fine with me. I might get a 10-dent. I think a 10-dent would be a nice addition. Maybe Maryland Sheep and Wool. I will do that, so that I don't have to pay to ship it. Yeah, so this is going to, those spaces you see between the warp and the weft will close up. So an 8-dent heddle, and I got 9 ends per inch EPI. So this will shrink. Not sure how much. I hope not too much, because I need about 2 yards to sew with it. And I'm going to make another one of these jackets. And this is, you just saw me stand up. This is the Cocoa jacket. It's by Sew Over It London. And the reason I'm going to make this, I think it's a very wearable jacket. I'm going to have to work on not having the lining show so much, but stop scratching me. The pieces for this are very, can be cut. They're small, they're narrow, can totally cut these pieces out of hand-spun and hand-woven fabric. The sleeves are even. The sleeves are a concern because they do take up quite a bit of space if they're all in one piece of fabric, but these are cut in 2 pieces of fabric. So I am very excited to give this a try. So I'm not sure when that'll happen, but it's exciting. And then that will be just an interesting garment to have. I love yellow. I love wearing yellow. I think it'll look great with jeans. I found recently that I really prefer wearing colors on top that are not too close, that are, I guess, warmer in tone, because jeans denim is usually such a cool tone. I don't like wearing blues or purples with jeans in general, unless I have a neutral with it, layering it with a neutral. Like I have my purple brushwork sweater. It looks really weird with jeans because it's just too close to the blue. I don't like it. I love a brown with blue jeans. I love a gray. I think a yellow will be nice too. And then I'll have a layering piece with any sort of cocoa jacket that I make, of course. So that's what's going on. The dog is I don't even know what you're doing, dog. She's distracting me. So shall we move on to whips? Let me show you the least interesting first. It's in one of my little bags. This is just, I'm casting on shorty socks. Basically a Rose City roller, except it's my own recipe. I just about to lose a needle. I do an inch of stockinette, or even a little less, and then I just make the sock to my typical recipe. And I probably can make a sock, a shorty sock, out of 12 grams of yarn. So I have plenty left over from this ball of yarn I used to make socks for my husband. It's opal yarn, sweet. It's either sweet and spicy or sweet and fresh and juicy, something along those lines. I think I have the yarn information in my Ravelry on the socks I made for him. My second work in progress is my songbird mitts. I'm using Isle Yarns, really lovely fingering weight yarn, and I haven't made a ton of progress. I have started the top of the mitten. And there's, can you see the bird? The bird is starting to form. I'm using US 1s. And let me tell you, if you don't have tiny little doll hands like I do, then go up a needle size. Or don't follow the gauge in this pattern. That would be my recommendation. 10 stitches per inch is bulletproof fabric for me. I would assume for most people. It's going to be very warm, but yeah, it's pretty negative ease on my hands so far. Yeah. And I think my row gauge might be off. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Speaking of row gauge, my Birkin sweater, I think pretty soon I'll be ripping that out. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Will it be cast on again in a different iteration? Possibly. We'll see. But I think I have reached the point where I can rip it out and be okay with it, whether or not I reknit it. Coffee. Okay, so my Carbeth sweater. This is another hand-spun yarn project. And so the Carbeth by Kay Davis has been ongoing for about 10 days. And it's a chunky weight cropped sweater. You might, if you know me well, you might be sensing some sort of story coming. And there is a story coming. And as usual, it involves my own special brand of idiocy. I love myself. I say that in slight jest. So I'm knitting its bottom up, and I'm using Coopworth. Isn't that pretty? It's just got a blue, brown, gray effect that I love. This is gonna look good with jeans. So yes, this is a hand-spun, hand-processed fleece by me. It's a Virginia fleece. It's a very local, place-based. And the pattern says, for my size, I'm knitting the third smallest. It says to knit, or I thought it said, to knit for 20.5 inches, which really seems long because it's cropped. And I just never seem, like I knit for 3 rows and I measure again, and it's you know, a ½ inch bigger or whatever. And I'm like, oh, why is this taking so long? I don't understand. And plus it's looking really long. I mean, usually I knit for 17 inches or 18 past the armholes. And I did want to make this longer than the pattern calls for. But I took it last night and compared it to some other sweaters that I've knit. And it's like 3 inches longer from the armholes already. So I read the pattern again. And guess what? You probably already know. It doesn't say 20.5 inches. It says 20.5 centimeters. And then it has the inches after that. It's like 8.5 inches. That's all I'm supposed to knit. It's practically a tunic. But you know what? I have plenty of yarn. I think I'm just going to plow ahead. And it'll be a tunic. Why not? Why not? You know, it would be pretty painless to rip out because it's not like you have to redo any knitting, right? Like you're going backwards. But then I'd be left with extra yarn. And who wants that? My one concern is that it might be getting on the heavy side. But I think I'm going to keep going. I don't think I'll rip back. Anyway, that's my Carbeth. Yeah. I've been spinning some more tunis. I'm up to about 600 or 700 yards in this fleece spin. So fleeces I currently have in my house. I still have a Gotland. I really don't love spinning long wools. So I struggle with that because it's beautiful and I should love, no, why? There are no shoulds. I just don't. I don't like spinning long wools. Maybe I need to try like very, very low take up and a big whorl and see if I like it better. But I don't like spinning worsted, so maybe I should just spin it woolen and be okay with that extra fuzzy halo. We'll see. So I have the Gotland, I have a Clun Forest, which I don't think will be my next spin. I have Corriedale. I think that might be my next spin. What else do I have? Clun Forest, Gotland, Corriedale. That might be it. No, that's not it, is it? I don't know. There might be another one. Can you hear the chainsaw? Oh, it's not a chainsaw. It's a rototiller. I thought it might be a chainsaw because of incredible windstorm we had here over the weekend. And lots of big trees have come down. But no, that's my father dreaming of spring. While it's snowing, he's rototilling. He's an amazing gardener. Wow. Okay, yes, let's see. So the last thing I have to share with you today is something that just came in the mail. This is a company in my state, so it got here really fast. And I thought I'd show you. I bought some sewing patterns. Just my dreaming of spring and summer involves sewing with linen and just sewing in general. So look, this came in the mail. It's a just fell on the floor, but it's a reusable box. I shall keep it, and it should come in handy at some point to send something shaped like this. So the customer service for this place is amazing. Really great follow through. They seem to really care that their customer get exactly what they want. I uploaded the wrong type of file for one of these patterns, and they called, they emailed, they were like, just attach the right one to this email and we'll substitute it. So yeah, this is pdfplotting.com, and this is the second time I've ordered from them, and I will show you what I got. These came in less than a week. Let's see, there we go, there they are. There is a minimum order of something like 7 sheets. So I got the, where's the name, I saw it. There it is. From Named Clothing, the Ninny Elastic Waist Culottes. If I'm fancy, I'll insert a picture here, but I'm not fancy, so you might have to look it up. These are going to be super fun. Ninny culottes. And then I got, you know what, it's going to be too much to, because I don't want to print out PDFs at home and tape them together. This is a very cost-effective and time-effective way to do it. And they're easier to store. I just roll them up, put a little washi tape, and store them vertically. So I got that. I got a dress from Sew Over at London called the, is it the Penny? It's like a sort of vintagey shirtwaist dress, very summery. I think it has kimono sleeves. I got two, and then I got 2 patterns from Tessuti Fabrics, and one of them is the Mandy Boat Tee, and that's a free pattern, which is awesome. So I got that printed in big format, as well as their Bondi dress, which is really cute. I think I talked about it last week. Is that all I got printed? Some of them have two pages, 2 big sheets. And then I got the Avery leggings, which is an activewear legging by Helen's Closet. I made her Blackwood cardigan and love the heck out of that. Great, great pattern. This one's the Mandy Boat tee. I don't have fabric for it yet. This one is the Avery legging. Yes, the penny dress. Gotta conquer buttons, folks. I really do. And then the culottes are, they look like that. And they have an elastic waist. Always a plus. That is all. 20 minutes. Lovely. So you guys go and do your crafting now, and I will go and I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll fold this fabric. I have other stuff to do as well. But till next time, take care and thanks for being here.